So this is one of those chapters where, as a reviewer, I'm torn between simple enjoyment and ultimately looking at something in a critical stance, because this chapter, while the ending for the most part, you'll totally say it, I'll say it was an ass pull as far as Erza, you know, once again coming up and the corny speech about friendship and the light and all that other shit. So, like, in a sense, yeah, critically looking at it, ass pull. Erza coming and clocking Kyouka. Kyoka's not out of the fight yet, so that's good. It wasn't a one punch out of nowhere hit KO and she's gone. So there's still more to the fight, so you can't completely rule it out yet. But ultimately, looking at it critically, yeah. It's like, wow, again, Erza coming in with the friendship shit. But for me, to be honest with you, there's a little bit more that I feel about this chapter. Let me explain. Alright, so for starters, throughout the entire chapter, for the most part, Kyouka was owning Erza. She had her on the floor, she was torturing her, she was torturing everybody around her, and to be honest with you, I felt the moment that she started torturing everyone around her, that was giving the excuse for the friendship shit. That's where I felt the setup for, you're not gonna fuck with my friends, we're happy and all them, and Minerva, even though Minerva shouldn't really be counted as a friend or whatever, but all them being electrocuted definitely felt like, oh, okay, this is set up for the friendship stuff. But seeing the sadistic nature of Kyouka, once again torturing her, definitely defines her character. She's a fucking nut job that loves torture. We've seen it time and time again, and even in this final fight, we see her yet again torturing Erza. And I honestly felt as though this chapter, while, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, it just felt like, oh my gosh, what's going on here yet again? Ultimately, it did have this sense of badassery to it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. As far as, like, enjoyment-wise, it had some sense of badassery to it in the sense of, first of all, Kyouka one by one stripping Erza of all her senses. And I was like, holy shit, you know, this is actually giving Erza a run for her money. So in that aspect, you gotta look at it like, alright, so she is giving her the works. But when Erza ultimately gets up and knocks her, even though she can't see, she can't hear, she can't smell, she can't taste, she can't touch, all her senses are pretty much out the window at the moment. So for her to do that, if we don't get some sort of logical explanation as far as, like, she was able to do it because she did this or she did that, if it's simply because the light of my friends, then it's totally bullshit. But I can't help but feeling, as a fan and as, you know, enjoying the series for what it ultimately is, that it was pretty badass when Erza got up and was basically like, something like this isn't even worthy of the name of pain. And then she knocks her and shit like, yeah, it's like BS or whatever, but you can't deny that it definitely adds to the badassery of Erza and kind of defines, once again, Erza's a fucking boss. Yeah, it comes across as BS, and again, I'm not denying it. I'm definitely looking at it in both aspects, as critically and as just enjoying it, but you can't deny the fact that that's pretty fucking awesome. A character that literally was just stripped of all of her senses, and she's still standing tall and proud and ready to go at it. Again, I would like some logic to it. Hiro Mashima, can you please make some sort of sense into it? Maybe something was left inside of her that gave her an extra sense. Maybe she has a sixth sense, so to speak, or whatever. But if something is added in there logically, then it'd be fucking epic. It'd be incredible, honestly. Like, all of her senses are gone, and yet she's still fucking up Kyouka. Like, I would actually appreciate something like that. And we can't count that out completely because, again, Kyouka's not down. If it was just a one-hit KO, then I would have probably said 2 out of 10, fuck this chapter, but it wasn't yet. And me being one of the people as well that's been tired of Fairy Tail winning over and over and over, this arc hasn't had much of that, and seeing it this time, it was like, yeah, it does look like that, but again, you gotta look at it in certain aspects as well, and I'm trying to be very fair with this chapter because I was a little bit peed off as well when I first finished the chapter. Kind of defined both of their characters yet again, and at the same time, if there is some sort of logic added to it, with Erza being able to do this, then it's pretty fucking badass. She's fighting with no senses and still trying to fight. So that's how I'm looking at this chapter. Yeah, it's fucking BS, the whole friendship shit. And it was corny as fuck when she was saying, oh, that light is the best thing ever. It's like, stop. But it's setting up for the finale between these two, hopefully, and Face as well, because the title of the next chapter is 0000. Basically, like, the timer went down completely. So either Kyouka's gonna die, probably not likely, so either that or Kyouka's gonna basically do some sort of self-destruction. Maybe Face is gonna be activated. Maybe everyone will be stripped of their magic, which would be very interesting. Even if Erza manages to whip the fuck out of Kyouka, if Face goes off, they're still screwed. So there's still some sort of struggle left right here. Ultimately, I was hoping for something a little bit different, but I'm not in that mode right now to rage simply because this is kind of what I expected, except it's a little bit more badass in a sense because of the things that both these characters were doing in this chapter. Her stripping her of all her senses and torturing the fuck out of her on some crazy nut job shit, and then Erza without any senses at all still trying to fight. So I find that to be badass. Two females strong as fuck going at it. Like, you don't really see something like that. We just need a little more logic, hero. No friendship bullshit. Let's actually have some sort of power in Erza that allows her to see things at least, like, I don't know, some fucking Byakugan or some shit. And with all that being said, I'm gonna give this one 5.5 out of 10. Average with a little bit of badassery, a little bit more showing these strong females, which I love that. It's just, hero, please don't let it just be because of friendship. Let those words just be words, and it's actually something a little bit deeper in Erza. Like, Natsu, we kind of got a little bit of an explanation of how he's able to fuck everyone up. Pretty much he's had that second awakening and pretty much had Igneel inside of him the entire time, so that kind of explains things. Let's have that for Erza as well. But what do you guys think? Are you upset? Are you like, oh, this is an ass pull? I could totally see if you feel that way. I just hope you kind of understand what I mean as well, as far as like, I enjoyed it. I felt like it just felt really bad fucking ass. It was like two females, one torturing, one fucking overcoming it. It's just, add more logic. And your overall thoughts of this chapter, who do you think is going to come out on top? Obviously, I think it's going to be Erza, but I think it's a possibility that Face could still go off, which would be very interesting. And maybe Lumen Histore could be the thing that revives all their magic. And your overall thoughts of this chapter, yeah, going to be one of those controversial ones, I'm sure, but I'm just not that angry with this one because I still feel there was some good bits to it. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.